Hello everyone. This is going to be a very different video than I expected to be uploading today. I created a ASMR video about helping someone fill out a census form, and I went to upload it to my computer and it said my hard disk was full. So I am currently backing up my hard drive and trying to free up some space. So unfortunately, you will not be able to see that video for a while. So I am reduced to doing a rambling video. I always hesitate to do these because I do not have the advantage of having a pretty face to look at while I ramble. So I only have doodles. So currently my hard drive, you can probably hear it churning in the background, is backing up. And as soon as it is done, hopefully sometime tonight, I will have enough disk space free to continue uploading videos. So I'm doing this one with my iPad, and I'm going to try to upload it straight to YouTube from there. If that doesn't work, you'll never know, because you won't see this. So this will be just a very private ramble. There has been something that I've been thinking about recently. I read in a marketing book that I have talking about internet marketing and getting people to engage and commit to different things online. And it was very powerful, and it's kind of stuck with me, and I've been kind of thinking about it and expanding on it in my head. And basically what this said was that we all tell stories to ourselves about ourselves. And I thought that was a really interesting way of looking at it. And specifically, this book was saying that if you can get somebody to change their story about themselves, you can influence their behavior. Now, specifically, this was talking about donating to a worthy cause online. And so if you had someone who does not typically think of themselves as someone who would give money online, you need to get them to change their story about themselves. And how you do that is you don't bombard them with a huge message. You get them to make a small change in their behavior. Instead of giving online like money, if you can get them to give you a piece of information or write a story into your blog, they will start to change the story about themselves. Because people do not like their actions and their story to not match up. And so if someone's actions no longer match their story, the person will actually change the story about themselves. And they will go from someone who does not get themselves involved in charities to someone who now does get themselves involved in charities. And then the next time, maybe you can ask them to do something else. Until eventually, hopefully, they're engaged in your charity and they are donating money. Now, of course, this applies to more than just charities, but that was the context that I was looking at it in. So I've been thinking about that, and the fact that we all tell ourselves stories about who we are, and the fact that those stories can change, and that they frequently do change. You do not think the same thing about yourself that you did when you were 10 years younger, or even 2 years younger. We grow, mature, hopefully, we mature, and we have a better understanding, and we have experiences that change our understanding and our view of the world and ourselves. And these things exert a force on the story that we tell. But other things that exert a force are messages that we read or see, friends that we interact with, and things that exert gentle pressure. Someone doesn't change their story right away. It takes usually a subtle influence, because someone cannot make you change your story. They can only convince you that you need to change it yourself. So that has been going through my head, in the way that here on YouTube, people are telling stories about themselves to others, and how those stories can change, and how those stories can be powerful or not. Sometimes they can be fairly mundane, but they are our stories, and so they are important to us. And also, we tell stories to ourselves about other people. We all have a theory about what is going on in each other's head, and we base our actions on what we think that is. And so not only do we need to be careful with our own story, but we need to be careful with the stories we tell about other people to ourselves. Because we are dealing with people's reputations, and we are dealing with the way in which we color our actions when we engage with them. And because you're basically only as good as the last story that someone told about you. So, if you are telling negative stories about someone to yourself, it's very possible that you are telling those same negative stories about someone to other people. And that can be very damaging. Now sometimes the stories are fairly well deserved. But other times they can be based on little or no evidence. Excuse me. So, the short of it was, in my thinking, that we need to be careful with our stories, and that we need to make sure we are telling good stories. Good stories to ourselves, about ourselves, and good stories to ourselves about other people. Or at least as truthful stories as we can. I'm bumping my camera. Excuse me. So anyway, that's what's been going through my head. And specifically as it deals with social media. In that places like YouTube and Facebook have allowed us to become our own PR firms. And that is very, very powerful. But I think it's sometimes more powerful than people realize. And that they tell stories about themselves that aren't necessarily true or flattering. And that they are telling that story in a fairly permanent record of online social media. And they will have to live with that story, possibly for the rest of their lives. So, that is where the cautionary tale comes in. To make sure we tell good stories, and true and accurate stories. And if that story is also compelling, then so much the better. But I don't want to make this a huge video, so I think I will stop there, my rambling, and I've given you a nice doodle. That's what I have to offer right now. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope that this has been relaxing. And hopefully, I will get my hard drive all backed up, and we'll be back in business. And this pen is refusing to cooperate. So, hopefully, my next video will be an unboxing video. If everything goes according to plan and the timeline and the thing I have ordered gets in, I will do another unboxing video for you guys. Okay? So, consider this ramble over, and I will see you next time. Please subscribe, and thank you for all the comments you leave and the encouragement you give me. Goodbye.